He bites my foot off.
My bottom teeth were just growing up really fast and they were turning black.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ARTBOX. Today is a very special episode. This is our Halloween episode. And I figured we'd bring back our first guest, Austin Short, the Lemon Squid on YouTube. He is a awesome artist, and he is a fanatic about horror movies, aren't you?
Yes, absolutely.
At least a lot of different scary stuff. Like I know you like the Wendigoon channel, Papa Meat stuff. You turned me on to Creepcast.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
I just started listening to the gas station stories the other day.
I haven't heard those yet. I think I'm like behind on the last like 2 or 3, but I'm catching up in my spare time.
Oh, okay. I heard the very first one. I'm like 3/4 of the way through because they're long.
Yeah.
But it was so funny the way that like they break it down.
Yeah, like the stories are good, and then you got their nice comedic elements. Like I want to do something like that. If they could like invite me on, Papa Me and Wendigoon, this is an official invitation for myself for your guys' show. I accept.
Yeah, you're the super fan they need, man. And you're full of cryptid knowledge and stuff like that.
Well, I think I know a lot, but there's people out there who know so much more than me.
Right. Well, I think you know more than I do, at least.
Oh, that's
that
fair.
wheel had a lot of monsters on it.
Yeah.
Which people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, people should hear about our upcoming Fakemon video soon.
Yeah.
Which should be about Pokemon that are cryptids. We're turning cryptids into Pokemon.
Yep. By the way, I've been meaning to ask you, what do you think of the thing that you got?
Well, I put it in part of the film. I filmed my part that I need to send to you.
Okay.
But basically, I don't think I've ever heard of it. Now, I could be wrong because I've taken in a lot of like cryptid like videos and stuff too. So I'm like, there's some that don't stick, and that's not one I'm recalling. So I haven't even looked it up yet.
Okay. I will say that it is a West Virginia native cryptid. And I think it's funny that you, being the only guy in doing the Fakemon videos who's not from West Virginia, got it.
Yeah. And the day after we rolled for those cryptids for Pokemon, didn't someone release a video of Heath voicing the Grafton monster?
I don't know. I've not seen that if they have, but that's pretty awesome if they did.
Heath Hawley from one of our earlier episodes, I'm pretty sure voiced a character called the Grafton Beast.
That's what...
And it's like in a paper cut animation from somebody's... It's a Mothman animation. And if I can find it or something, I'll cut in a clip of it here.
Mr. Beast is here to see you.
Send him in immediately. Ah! What the hell are you?
I'm the Grafton Beast. We had an appointment.
The Grafton Beast? You mean you're not here to fix our opioid problem with your YouTube money?
I come from a humble city in Taylor County with a population of about 4,700 people. So no, I'm here to ask you for money.
Definitely do. Definitely do. Do you know if it's like a new thing or an old thing?
I think it's new.
Oh, okay.
I just followed the guy too.
I know, like, oh, okay. I was going to say, like, years and years ago, I voiced Sasquatch for one of my old college friends, but I don't know where that went or anything. But it was like a little claymation thing, I think. It was pretty cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of awesome stuff and voices and animation, I want to open up this episode with a piece of obscure media that not a lot of people have heard of. And it is called Mickey Mouse in Runaway Brain. And have you ever heard of this before?
I don't think so. I'm bad with names.
Oh,
though,
man.
So.
I really want to see it. But as far as I know, I probably won't get to. I don't know if there's like a release, like a public release version of this. I think you have to pay for it. I think there's a way to pay for it. Maybe. I'll have to look farther into that.
Okay.
But I got the Wikipedia pulled up here, and I'm going to read it to you. Runaway Brain is a 1995 American animated comedy horror short film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation. Featuring Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, the short centers on Mickey attempting to earn money to pay for an anniversary gift from Minnie. He responds to an advertisement to work for Dr. Frankenolly, only to find out that he is looking for a donor to switch brains with the monster he created. Featuring animations by animator Andres Deja. I don't know how to pronounce that. It was first released in 1995, attached to North American theatrical showings of A Kid in King Arthur's Court. Ugh. And in 1996, attached to an international showing of A Goofy Movie.
I love a Goofy movie. So I may have seen this if it's with the Goofy movie.
It would be the final original Mickey Mouse theatrical animated short until Get a Horse in 2013. So they had a big gap after this one.
Okay.
And those were the only ways you could get to see this, was to see it before A Kid in King Arthur's Court or A Goofy Movie in theaters. Like, you know how they would play like, those, I don't know, pre-showings or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon actually used to put Pikachu movies at the beginning of their Pokemon movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it's just so gory and wild. I've seen some clips of it. You can probably find like deep dives on this on YouTube somewhere. But that they've kind of like hushed it. And that's why like you can't find it anywhere.
It's like some of that lost media stuff. Because
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that. That's awesome.
One second.
Sure.
Come here. Whoop.
Dude, that was a really good iPhone message noise.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it really was, actually.
Yeah, you didn't know this, but I was actually the voice of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was
Good
the voice
works.
of the iPhone. I was the voice of the iPhone.
the
That's
whole
me.
voice. You're Siri.
iPhone, no, Siri's different.
Oh.
I do all the click, 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 whoop, all
Yeah.
those noises. Yeah,
But do you do the xylophone when people call, like the default ringing?
yeah, yep. Siri handles the rest. They got someone else on that project.
Wow, she really stole the spotlight from you, man.
I had to let the cat out real quick because she was being crazy.
Yeah, I had to make sure there was no cats in my room. There's still maybe one in my room somewhere. I don't know, but I think they're all out.
There's a bunch of references in this movie to like all kinds of stuff. Like it opens up with Mickey playing a version of Mortal Kombat where it's Dopey and Queen Grimhild. I don't know who that is, but he's playing Mortal Kombat of them. So
That's
that's
cool.
one scene that they didn't like. Yeah. I guess they complained like that's too gruesome. The first idea that they came up with before making it a Mortal Kombat parody was it was supposed to be a first-person shooter of Bambi.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that
That's
idea got
great.
rejected, obviously. That's so awesome, though. Like, if it was Duck Hunt, I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah, just like there's Bambi's mom.
And the whole plot is basically Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. We get that plot, that
Right.
reference. What's another one? There's an Exorcist reference. When Mickey first arrives at Frank and Ollie's residence, it's the same exact as Father Marin's arrival at Regan McNeil's house.
Oh,
That's what
it's
he
like
said?
like the spotlight and the silhouette
Yeah.
and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, the iconic stuff. So they put like a lot of good like references and work into this project, and it sucks that you like have to like go out of your way to see it.
Yeah.
It was it's a digital download, I guess. It is available as a Movies Anywhere exclusive digital download with the Walt Disney Animation Studio short film collection, but is not included on the Blu-ray DVD disc set. For anyone asking.
So you have to, you do have to pay for it to watch it.
Yeah. So if you look up Runaway Brain, I think you have a way to get to it. But that, man, phew, I would love to watch that. We should check that out sometime.
Absolutely, man. I would love that.
Which, now we've discussed our opener media, because that's kind of how I said. I wrote these notes very fast for a Halloween episode. It's so spooky so far.
Don't scare me, man.
Mickey's brain's getting switched with other monsters. And
I don't like it. It was scary.
What's some of your favorite or memorable Halloween media?
Halloween specifically media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not just horror movies, but like I wrote down Halloween ones myself.
Gotcha. So the first two things that pop in my head are the Trick or Treat movie, like Trick or Treat with Sam. You know what I'm talking about there?
Yeah.
That I think is really great. And then the
What's
next
that movie about? Because I've seen the character and I've seen the box art and like I've heard of it for years, but what's it actually about?
So it's kind of like an anthology, but like all the stories kind of connect like in the background of things, you know? And it's just like this one town and Halloween night and all these different crazy things are going on. And like I said, they do connect, but you don't really piece it together immediately. I don't want to give too much of it away because, again, if you haven't seen it, you got to come over and watch it. I've got that on DVD, man. So we'll watch that. But it is really cool. It's like, to be very, very vague, there's like ghosts here, there's werewolves here, different things like that. It's really, really cool. But I won't get into too much. But it's a fun. Have you ever seen Krampus?
No, I haven't. That's another one I've heard of.
Well, it's made by the same guy, so that's also a great watch. Trick or Treat for Halloween, Krampus for Christmas, man. Those are two of my go-tos.
Yeah, I recently saw there was what was that David Harbour movie that came out for Christmas? It's a horror movie.
Was it Silent Night, Violent Night, or something like that?
Yeah,
where remember. He's Santa.
Yeah, he's Santa. I think the word fright is in it. I can't remember.
Maybe.
I want to check that one out, too.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of Silent Night, Deadly Night. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what it's called. But dude, I saw that movie in theaters. That kicked ass, man. That movie was awesome. Yeah. I almost forgot about it, to be honest with you. But no, that movie's sick, dude.
Do you remember Black Christmas, I think, was with Goldberg? Have you ever seen that?
Black Christmas. Yeah, I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a couple different ones, right? Like, that's with the, like, the college girls, and then there's, like, some guy living in the attic.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I like the clock when wrestlers are in movies. So.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that's why I have that one up there.
Yeah, I think there's a few different versions of Black Christmas, and I've not seen all of them, but I think I've seen the one you're talking about, and I think I've seen the original. Which, a lot of people credit, like, Halloween and Michael Myers as being, like, one of the first slasher flicks, but Black Christmas actually kind of beat them to it. I wish I'm better with names, because it'd suck if I'm talking about the wrong movie, but I'm pretty sure that's Black Christmas.
It's such a simple title. I bet there's multiples, like, different kinds.
Yeah, I know Silent Night, Deadly Night's also a good horror Christmas movie, but that one is a bit on the campier side. Have you seen that?
No.
It's pretty good. It's like this kid, he's coming home from visiting his, like, senile grandpa, and his grandpa was telling him that, like, Santa's gonna get him or something, and then their car breaks down on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and this guy in a Santa suit, I don't know if the car actually breaks down, I can't remember exactly, it's been a while, but anyway, they pull over on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and this guy in this Santa suit just, like, brutally assaults and kills his parents right in front of him, so he's like, oh no, Santa's evil. And, like, That's just like the beginning of the movie. It goes from there, but it's a fun
I
time.
caught
dude.
mommy killing, or no, I caught mommy killing Santa Claus. Tongue twister there.
Yeah.
Mommy kissing Santa Claus. Do you remember Ernest Scared Stupid?
I don't think I've ever seen that, and I know that's a crime.
yeah.
I know family members of mine that would kick my ass for not have seen that movie, but yeah, I don't think I have. I know Ernest is like, just not seen it.
Ernest is somebody I've wanted to be for Halloween before. I've had all the items in my Amazon cart or whatever for a while.
Oh,
and I've
really?
just never pulled the trigger. Yeah, the hat,
That's cool.
the blue jean vest, and just the gray shirt. That's all you need.
Yeah, it really is all you need. And then an expression like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Ernest Scared Stupid was awesome, dude. At the same time as being a traditional Ernest movie where it's wacky, it's got like slapstick, of course.
yeah.
He teams up with a bunch of kids to defeat like these trolls that have taken over the town. And the trolls are turning all the little kids into little tiny wooden statues, and they're putting them in this giant tree.
Yeah.
And if they like,
I think I have seen that. You're unlocking some memories. I think I have seen that. It's just been a really long time.
such a good movie, dude. I think, yeah, people our age have like at least seen that maybe when they're the younger. The way that they defeat the trolls, they find out that they have to pour milk on them.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's funny, though.
They find out because it's an ancient prophecy that Ernest is supposed to be the one to defeat these trolls and stuff. It's like, and in the prophecy, it says something about Miak. And Miak,
that's milk.
yeah, it's milk. Yeah.
Have you seen that, that's like So Bad It's Good, Trolls 2 movie?
No, but I've clocked those too.
Yeah, but you've heard of it and everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched it, but I've seen so many like YouTube videos like talking about it and dissecting and everything. That seems like a classic. Another Halloween piece of media that hits home for me pretty good is Hocus Pocus.
That's one I haven't seen. Why does everybody love that so much? I don't know anything about it.
It's a good movie, man. It's not scary, but like it's I don't know, just for a Disney Halloween movie, like it's pretty great. When I was a kid, doesn't matter
Traditional
the time of
Disney family
What is
type
it?
deal, but with the traditional Disney family, but with like the Halloween aspect to it.
Well, I don't know. I will say I think it's a bit more mature than what your traditional family movie would be. Like when it comes to Disney, a bit. Like for instance, the main kid in the movie, they keep making fun of him. Even his little sister makes fun of him for being a virgin, which is like
That is
something you
odd,
wouldn't
yeah.
expect. Yeah. I rewatched it a couple of years ago, and I was like, wow, this is a little different than what I remembered. But it's just like a good, fun Halloween time, man. You know, I never saw the second one, but I've heard good things.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering why it was so big that they had to do another one, and everybody was blown up about that. But I never saw that one either.
Yeah,
A lot of good movies in the past couple of years are just gone by.
I felt that.
Much like you were talking about that David Harbour film, where he plays Santa Claus. Like I forgot about it until I just said it. So it's like I need to go back and see that one.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen this classic called The Halloween Tree?
the Halloween tree. It makes me think of Nightmare Before Christmas, where they have the Halloween tree and like do like the Christmas tree and the Easter tree and stuff.
The Halloween Tree is an old animation of I think it's so old that I almost forgot it existed until like a couple years ago. My brother brought it up. He has the movie, and it unlocked memories for me.
That's animated.
It's like an old animated movie. I almost called it a video. I think these kids, I think their friend passes away, and they're like I think they're like haunted by his like ghost basically, and it ends them to like leads them to this tree, and it's drawn real fantastical. Like they're like standing and going through an adventure through this tree, and there's pumpkins in the imagery and stuff, all that.
Right.
Wind blowing, lots of dramatic music. But it's like a kid's movie, but it's like an epic. It's like an epic Halloween.
I don't think
And
I
like
have.
they have to like transfer this, like, I think, pumpkin to like a certain part in the Halloween tree, or like his soul will be trapped on Earth forever or something like that, and they have to help him move on and shit. It was like, it's pretty awesome. I need to go back and watch that one too.
Speaking of animated movies that not a lot of people, I guess, have seen, but like were a big part of my childhood. This isn't Halloween related, by the way. Have you ever seen The Page Master?
I remember watching it when I was younger, but I haven't actually picked it back up as an adult to like
Me either.
remember a lot of it.
It's probably not that good, but I remember as a kid I really liked it, and like how he
It's
would
dramatic like that. Yeah, that movie. I remember that one being very dramatic.
yeah, it started off live action, and then he'd go into the books and
Yeah.
be animated.
With
And-
Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the books was like a Frankenstein, because like, you know, it was really cool. There was like a fairy book, a pirate book, and a Frankenstein's monster book. And dude, I remember loving that movie so much. I guess it kind of did come back around to Halloween because of the Frankenstein part. That was my favorite scene.
That's like the old VHS tapes, like that would be mixtape, like in with the ones that I've mentioned. And then we would also have some in the house that would be like recorded by the family, you know, VHS style.
Yeah.
The Halloween ones that I remember us having were, there was one that was like full of Halloween episodes. So it had a bunch of old Treehouse of Horror on there, like the one where Willie is the night, what is that one? Elm Street?
Nightmare on Elm
That's what
Street.
it's called.
Yeah. I know which one
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah. That was an awesome episode that's burned into my memory from like
Yeah.
those VHS.
Do you
Do you have a
remember-
favorite Treehouse of Horror episode?
I actually just watched one last night. I've seen so many of them, it's hard to pick a favorite, but the one I watched last night was kind of funny. It was just it's like Bart and Lisa are taking turns telling scary stories, and it's Bart's turn, and his story is it's just like they move to this house that's like insanely haunted. Like it's just nonstop hauntings. Like they go into the kitchen and there's a portal to another dimension in there. And Homer just throws an orange, and then they comes back with a piece of paper that says, "Quit throwing your trash in our dimension." And
I just remembered one of them. You keep going.
oh, sorry, they just all start to try to kill each other after a while, and it was funny. It was a good blast from the past. Do you remember?
It sounds like the Amityville Horror, because usually they're based on things, and it sounds kind of like that. I don't know.
I think it took some influence from it, but I think it was also just
Right.
Bart trying to come up with the most like ridiculous stuff. Because Lisa's was like, the call's coming from inside the house. So he was like, I've heard that before, but what about this? And he's like, this is haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted, you know? Do you remember like when Burger King would give away the toys for Treehouse of Horror, and they would always be Simpson stuff with like a good little Halloween twist?
Yeah, kind of do.
That was like
Because I remember the aliens being one of them.
Yeah. Oh man, those were my favorites. Burger King. I was a Burger King kid through and through growing up. Like McDonald's I don't know, man. McDonald's had some good toys every now and then, but I was always a Burger King kid.
Man, I went through Burger King one morning, and they gave me service like no other. The guy was so chill. Like I'll say to him, like I just ordered my order through the drive-through.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'm like, can I do this instead of this? He's like, man, this is Burger King. You can have it your way. And I said, dude, you're totally right. Let's do it. Switch that.
You're
And I
totally
pulled up
right,
to the-
man.
Yeah, I pulled up to the window. He said, have a good day, man. He was in good spirits, and so was I. I had it my way that day.
There is a short period of my life. I mean, there's been a bunch of periods of my life where I like try to lose weight. And at one point I was like, maybe I'm going to cut out carbs, so I didn't eat bread. So they just give me
Right.
patties with like the toppings, just no bread. Like it was a burger, but without the bread. And
I
I mean, I ate
Do
it.
what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon it tastes better with the bread, I would say. But you know.
Also, while we're still on memorable media, before we move on,
Oh yeah,
or get too lost in the BK sauce,
yeah.
you had mentioned Goosebumps books before this
Yes.
episode.
Yes, I love Goosebumps. Also, real quick before we get into Goosebumps, Pumpkinhead was a great movie. I loved that movie growing up. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Tell me, my experience. I do believe I'd read one or two when I was younger,
Right.
but I don't really remember them from reading them. I remember some of the stories from watching some of the episodes that
Yep.
they did.
Yep.
And then the most memorable thing, of course, is the book art. Like for
Oh
me, like
yeah.
a lot of those are burned into my mind.
Yeah. Iconic.
Yeah. Like the slimy hand one. I can't remember what they are.
Is it the one where he's like creeping around the door and it's got like the leaves? Stay out of the basement.
That's the one. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
What's the one where the boy puts on the mask and it latches on?
The one where the boy puts on the mask is the Haunted Mask 2. The one with the girl puts on the mask is the Haunted Mask.
Okay.
Those are
Yeah,
my
because I thought they did different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the Haunted Mask is probably it's a two-parter, but it's probably my favorite Goosebumps like episodes. Those were
It's very. It reminded me of watching because I watched it not too long ago. It reminded me of like kind of a kid's scary Twilight Zone.
It's really good, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom would go to this tanning salon that would also just rent movies out for some reason. And a lot of the movies they had there were Goosebumps episodes. So I would just like cycle through all of them, you know? And there was maybe like 5 or 6. I wouldn't say all of them.
All of them.
Yeah. For me, it was all of them. So it'd be like The Haunted Mask, Stay Out of the Basement, Welcome to Dead House. What else was there? Welcome to Fever Swamp or Stay Out of Fever Swamp, something like that. Oh,
I think
Night
that was
of the
it.
Living Dumbing Part 3. That one was a good one too. With Slappy.
Oh, and I just remember the movie because you said the dummy.
Yeah.
Slappy.
Dude, I could.
Jack Black was awesome in that first one.
Jack Black. Yeah, the Goosebumps movie was pretty good. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like something about the old ones just get me. I'm not seeing any of the new show either that has like on Hulu or something.
Me either.
I've heard mixed things, but I'd be down to check it out.
So we've mentioned our favorite or some of the memorable media from Halloween and growing up.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite memories or scary memories or anything that you can think of from attached to Halloween?
Favorite or scary memories? I mean, Halloween has always been my favorite holiday, so like so many of them are favorite times. I'm trying to think of something in particular that was scary, but I mean, I really can't. I just always get so excited. I like being in all the different costumes. Go ahead.
Our family would just be real big into like making the costumes and stuff, and that's something like I always remember like loving. For like it could be like the week build up to it, and we'd be like making the costumes or something like that. Doing the pumpkins, gotta slice up them pumpkins, dude.
Of course, that's got to be in one of my favorites. I love making jack-o'-lanterns, and I'm the only person in my family right now, like in this household, that even likes making jack-o'-lanterns. So we don't do it as often as what I'd like.
They'll cut it, hand you the guts. You're like, I'm the guts guy. I got you, dude.
Yeah,
No.
that's something that me and my dad would do a lot. I remember one year I was like super stoked to be Robin. Like, not Batman, not anything scary, but Robin in particular. And I was like, this is sick. But
Well, that's a perfect way to talk about our next subject, which I think it will spur. We're talking about memories, anyways. Halloween costumes, and you mentioned Robin so far.
Yep. For several years in a row, I was the Grim Reaper. And then I don't know if you know this about me, but like, I like clowns like a good bit.
Yeah? Big clown
Yeah.
guy.
I'm a clown guy.
The clown guy. Hey, Steve O's a clown guy too.
Who, Steve Evans?
I said Steve O is a clown guy too. Different kind of clown.
But this actually made me think of one of my favorite Halloween memories too. But for several years, I would be a clown in different, just in different iterations and stuff.
Nice.
But one year in particular, me and my buddy Henchman went to go work for our friend Jordan's. Like, her dad had the Harley Davidson down in Huntington, and they would do a haunted house there. And we got to go work at the haunted house, and I got to make all the scary clowns. Like, I did all the makeup
That's
for them
dope.
and everything, and I, like, ran the clown room. And that was like, it don't get any better than that, you know?
That's a pretty creative part of Halloween is those haunted houses. Yeah, people put those together like it's a freaking torture cosi, bro.
Yeah, dude, and it's awesome. Especially if people get paid for it, because at the time we were doing it for free. But like I know a couple haunted houses that'll like pay you for it. I kind of want to get back into it. It's just my schedule's so busy. But I would love to work at a haunted house again. It's a fun environment. I'll send you some pictures of the clown makeup I did back then for me and other people. You can
Nice.
cut it in right here or back then. Whenever
Back
we were
then,
talking.
over here.
Yeah.
Got you. I have a list of my what I can remember of my oldest and to latest costumes. The earliest costume I can remember is I was Barney.
Sick.
That was a good one. I actually like visually remember that because like I remember us stuffing sock rolls into the tail to make it like actually arched up because that's what it did. So like yeah.
I think my mom would be able to tell you what my first costume was. It was either a clown, a scarecrow, or a Big Bird. Can't remember exactly. One of those. Go ahead.
But Big Bird was one of them though.
Big Bird was one of them. It was in one of the first like 3 or 4, I would say.
Well, you know me, dude. I love Sesame Street and puppets and stuff. So that's awesome. The second one I can remember is actually teen years. I don't know. I can't remember a bunch of them in between there.
It was
My
what?
teen
Oh,
years.
teen years.
I was Goku once. And
Nice.
it was an all like plastic-ish kind of material.
Yeah.
So like it was a face mask that you put on that would just strap over the back, So it's pretty 2D in a sense like that.
yeah.
But it also came with the gi, and it was like really cheap plastic. And I remember, I don't even think I got out of like our like area of houses before that thing ripped all the way up my ass crack.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, my underwear was straight out, and I was like, gotta retire. We gotta go home now.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess I was supposed to wear pants under this.
One year, I wasn't ever an anime character, but one year I was the Red Ranger, if that counts.
That's pretty dope. Yeah. Yeah. That's basically anime, dude. Power
Basically,
Rangers, that's
yeah.
basically- yeah.
I was like
That's how they
5
made
or
it,
6 or
isn't it?
something. What?
Yeah, that's how they made stuff like that, wasn't it? Is they recycled footage from like a different company.
I think they would reshoot the scenes with American actors when they're not wearing the costumes, and then when there was a fight
Yeah.
scene going on, it would be like the original Japanese actors, and they would just dub over them. I don't know if
I know
that's still
that
how
they-
they still do it today, but I was also a big Power Rangers kid for a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah, Power Rangers definitely big during these times.
Oh yeah,
Another costume I had, the Gold Man. And I'll throw a picture of that on screen. Fuck it.
did you
It's
just
not
paint yourself
usually-
gold or?
Yeah, it's not usually one of those kinds of podcasts, but like you've seen, like sometimes we do visuals, so
Yeah,
there's a perk to watching this on YouTube, which is the only place. So if you're popping it on the side and you're doing your dishes, you might want to peek over a little bit at the Gold Man. And the Gold Man was inspired by, I had watched, what was that movie with Jack Black and Michael Cera? Year One.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
And Michael Cera gets painted up as one of those like performers, and he has to watch that guy. Anyways, I was that character for Halloween once. So I
That's
was
pretty
fully painted
great.
gold. I had long emo hair, but we didn't paint that. So that's pitch black comb over
You can't
the
mess
gold
with the
man.
emo hair.
Yeah, can't touch that. But I'll go out of my way to be a gold Greek person, like statue. Um, I also went out of my way on being Jesse Pinkman, where
That's
I
awesome.
dyed.
I'm watching Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's how much I loved it. I dyed my hair blondish, like try to get as close to, because I was Jesse and my brother was Heisenberg. He was, I think, episode 3. So if anyone would check that out. Yeah, I was Jesse. I dyed my hair a little blonde. We made rock candy that was cotton candy flavored, and we handed that out. So it was blue, a little bit of crystal meth in the bag.
Yeah.
And we had guns. I did my hand tats. I had clothes like him. And
Call
that's
people
probably
bitch.
the farthest I went for Halloween, is doing that. And then my brother shaved his head, did the goatee. He bought the pork pie hat. It's pretty awesome.
That is pretty sick, dude. Let's see. Like, as you were talking, I was thinking of other Halloween costumes I've had. One time, I do a lot of like do-it-yourself costumes too. Just make it from scratch at your house. But I did have like this rabbit mask once. It was just like a cheap plastic rabbit mask, and I was kind of doing like a You ever heard of the movie Harvey or something like that? It's like a guy with an imaginary rabbit friend named Harvey.
No, I don't think I have.
It's like a really, really old black and white movie. But anyway, I was trying to be like a murderer Harvey. So I had like a suit, and on the button up, I like covered it in blood, and then I just had like this plastic rabbit mask and just like stare at people. Like it ended up being pretty freaking good for something I just threw together in like 10 minutes. But
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. And a bad experience was one time I wanted to be Spider-Man so bad. He's my favorite superhero. And instead of going out and buying a costume, my aunt, God bless her soul, she's still alive. I don't know why I said that, but God bless her. She insisted on making the Spider-Man costume herself. And she wanted to make, I had 3 cousins at the time. It was me, Harley, and Anthony. And Anthony was her kid. And so she made all 3 of her costumes. Anthony's looked so good. And mine and Harley's looked so thrown together, for lack of a better term. And we kind of were like, man, this kind of sucks. Like, and again, I'm sorry if you're watching this. I don't know if you are or not, but I'm sorry, Aunt. I won't mention your name.
You guys were sitting there like a couple of Spoodermen.
Well, he was an army guy, and I was Spider-Man. And like, my costume was like a red sweatshirt, a red sweatpants, and then like spiderweb curtains that she had like cut a hole in and just kind of draped over me.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's a whole new kind of Spider-Man, dude. You know how they were doing the make your own Spider-Man? Like when Spider-Verse came out, artists were like putting out their own versions of their own Spider-Man. Did you remember that?
I do. I didn't think about that creativity level at the time. I didn't think about how much, thought and care put into that costume that she made me, and I was being kind of ungrateful. Anyway, she took that very personally, whipped us with a belt because we didn't like the costumes. My parents were not happy about that. So yeah,
if that doesn't tell people how old we are with the rest of the episode,
Yeah, dude, you go to jail for doing that now.
I've been belted, man. We're old enough.
That was the only time I've ever been belted. I wasn't even whipped that much as a kid, like with a hand. I was a good kid.
Were you still dressed as Spider-Man?
I mean, yeah, I didn't have another choice. I wore that costume. So I got whipped with the belt, wore the costume. But I think my dad gave her like a stern talking to for doing it. Like, for whipping me. But whatever.
Yeah.
It is
on
what
a lighter
is.
note.
Yeah.
My last one was, the last one I can remember I did was Rick Sanchez. And that was a thrown together one. I was out in another town. I was in Columbus. And the friend I was staying with was like, I think Yeah, we got some like old, like, because we're going out to a bar, we're gonna do a costume contest and all this.
Yes.
I was like, I didn't come up here for like that, but like if you guys want to, I'll go. So they threw all their stuff together, and they already had the portal gun. We flipped one of his girlfriend's blue shirts inside out, and that was it. And
Yeah.
like we'll throw that on screen, and it was honestly very just. I didn't do anything with my hair; it was just regular hair, how it is,
Right.
and a beard. But it was also during the time of COVID, yeah. So we had a face mask at the event, and so what we did with that face mask, since it was plain white, we
Yep.
just I have my friend Bob Collins, if he's ever watching, he actually did the drawing of Rick's nose and then mouth with the
Nice.
ooze,
Yeah.
and I actually won part of the contest, I think, because of that mask. And I gave it to somebody. I can't remember I think I won candy or something like that. It was a pretty sweet night. Yeah.
I think the last costume I was either like a big. I have some masks, but one I was either Frankenstein's monster or. Give me just a second. I want to grab this just right over there. I'll be right back.
Hey, we'll cut two.
This guy right here, dude. I made this back in high
Ooh.
school. This is like a default Halloween costume for me, or if I ever wanted to dress up. But you just buy a plain old like hockey mask and like get paint or markers or whatever and just draw your design on it. And like, man, I wore this for not just Halloween, but I was a freak, man. Like I just put this on.
It's got some Casey Jones energy.
Yeah, it does. Or like Hollywood Undead even. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can lay down
like
a verse in that.
That's it. What?
You can lay down a verse in that, and that'll be your new online alter ego.
I was about to
dude.
say I thought you said you never heard of Hollywood Undead. You didn't know, and I didn't want to be the guy to break what Hollywood Undead is to you.
This is the perfect episode to talk about him on.
I mean, I guess so. But yeah, I like this thing. I've got a couple of them, but this is the OG one.
Also, Slipknot, their masks, every time they come out with them, those are legendary looking, man.
Absolutely. Slipknot's got
I used
some
to try
awesome
to draw
ones.
them in high school. Like I had I think it was in that endless creativity video that I keep talking about.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good one.
I flipped past just a bad portrait of Corey Taylor with his
I
mask
also
on.
drew a portrait of Corey Taylor at one point. Which mask did you draw?
It's the one that, I don't know eras or names, but it's the one that's like sewn together pieces.
That's a cool one.
It looks like flesh.
The one I drew, yours was better than mine, like your choice of mask and everything. The one I drew is like, it was like the smooth greenish one with like the circle around the eye and his hair came out the top. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was different.
Yeah, that was the one
That's
I
pretty
drew.
sweet.
But yeah, that's just the one he was wearing at the time, I'm pretty sure.
Speaking of drawing, are you doing Inktober this year?
I think I might, even though it's intimidating.
Oh, yeah?
I probably don't have enough time for it. I think I might. I want to give it I've never done it before.
Don't let the episode pressure you. I know that I will not.
Okay.
I could say I'm not this year, but if you do, have you ever done it before?
No, I've never done it.
Oh, it's an awesome exercise in creativity. Me and Heath talked about it on an episode, and I was wondering what your perspective was about it. He said he's never done it either, or never stuck with it.
Yeah, I've never even once tried it because I didn't know if I could stick with it. However, I do the 30-second drawings up until like this past week or so pretty consistently. And then
Same thing.
I mean, pretty much. You maybe a little bit more effort on the Inktober, but I wasn't even going to do it. But then I got an invite on Facebook to do it, and I was like, you know what? I'll take you up on that. Why not?
It was a sign, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I did one a couple years ago, the last one I did, and I actually like grew a good bit of audience off of that on Instagram. Cause like that's a good way to like engage that trend, do the drawings. But you can
Yeah.
find out not just Inktober, we're using that as like a blanket term, but a lot of people put out their own prop lists. Like the last one I followed was a company called Draw or Die, and DJ Everman, I think or DJ Kaufman. DJ Everman was on this show. DJ Kaufman is the guy that I think was co-running that, and he actually does the V Friends comics now. So I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
They just liked one of my posts earlier today.
That's
So
awesome.
if you check out Draw or Die, they have a prompt list. I don't know if the one you accepted was an invite to a certain Inktober.
I don't know. I don't know if there's like an official one or not, but I don't remember anything about it, to be honest with you. I have to like look at it again. But
Right.
yeah.
Probably gotten you sweating about Inktober. I brought it up. You're like, fuck, now I got to draw
I
31
know.
drawing.
I've got like 3 commissions on the back burner that I got to get to. So, and then, videos and stuff. So I'll be busy.
And life.
Yeah, and life. Not to mention life.
Yeah. I like one more note on some of that is I just like drawing creepy shit.
Yeah.
Some of the coolest stuff I've ever drawn, like I just busted out the markers, playing with the inks, especially black and white with a bunch of those Inktober drawings. That's what I did. Watercolor paper with ink. And throw some skulls on there and stuff, and it just looks so cool.
I know, man. I feel like a lot of people don't know that I like to draw creepy stuff because a lot of my digital drawings are so like, I don't know, like friendly looking, I guess.
Yeah, friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like Inktober would be a good chance for me to kind of branch out. That's also what I was trying to do with the 7 Deadly Sins. But like if I just had like paper and pencil or paper and pen and I go to doodle, it always kind of goes into like a creepier direction, I feel, as opposed to my digital stuff.
Sorry, that's another good subject, is your 7 Deadly Sins series. Will you explain that a little bit for the audience?
Okay, so it started off with, I was watching Face Off, like the sci-fi show Face Off with my nephew, and if you don't know what that is, it's just like these makeup effects artists are on like a competition show, and they make like a bunch of really cool things on there. One of their prompts was to make a 7 Deadly Sin, and I was looking at the gluttony one, and I was like, I have such a better idea for gluttony. I mean, that's opinionated, so it's not necessarily better,
right,
but I liked it better. So I decided
So you went to the drawing board.
Yeah, literally. And I drew my version of gluttony, and then I was like, I can make 7 videos about this, and I got 2 more left. I think I've got greed and lust left to do. And
Nice.
I've just been drawing my interpretations of the sins and like personifications of those sins.
Nice. And they're well done shorts too. You just give a voiceover on some of your thoughts and like the process of it. But like you take a much more serious tone than your friendly art.
Yeah,
with those ones. Yeah, I really like those a lot. That was a good thing you brought that up, because I think we've both done so many creepy things. Like I just had the Necronomicon painting. Go back and watch that video on the Creative Jargon channel if you get a chance, where I entered Slew's portrait contest. But yeah, we both are huge fans. On your wall, I see behind you, you got Ash, you got Pennywise, you got a Left 4 Dead character, you got Rick Grimes. Is that Rick Grimes?
That's Rick Grimes. Yeah, that's a smoker. Ash, Pennywise.
The smoker.
I got Leatherface right here. This one's a cool one.
Oh, one of my friends had that figure in high school. That's an awesome one. I got a bunch of Ashes from NECA. NECA puts out so many cool figures.
Yeah.
I'd spend all my money on them.
I've got a bunch of Stephen King books over there that are off camera, and I'll have to send you a picture of pictures of some of my creepier paintings, because they're over there in the closet. I don't want to have to make you hold on again, but I'll just send you pictures. You can do like a short slideshow if you want, but I've got the creepy side to me. It's not just Pokemon and smiles.
Yeah, we're letting our creep out on this episode. We're creeping down. We're creeping up, and we're creeping down.
We're creeping left and right too, bitch. That was the Jesse coming out of me. I'm sorry. The Jesse Pinkman.
Magnets, bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, science.
Speaking of Jesse, we know he's a super deep guy. What else is deep? Scary dreams. Like that connection.
I like that connection. Also, I'm excited for whatever we're about to talk about.
Scary dreams, which I find dreams, often connected with horror and Halloween movies and stuff like that.
Yep.
Dreams can be a very playground-esque area for creativity. Nightmare for Elm Street. Yep. Nightmare on Elm Street. One day I'll get that right. But also, just in general, like people like to like dissect these and figure these out. And some people have dreams that are connected. One of them from when I was a child is I was being chased by an old witch, in which I remember, and I still remember, I remember jumping into a giant clear mailbox. And when I get up in there, I get all backed up in the corner.
You said a
and
mailbox?
I'm kicking down. Yeah, a giant clear mailbox. And this is all also within a home. Like I remember running upstairs from her.
Sounds like a dream.
Up in it. Yeah, and then I'm up in it and I'm kicking down, and it's a giant rat, and he can't get in. Of course, it's a dream, like you said.
Yeah.
He can't exactly get in, but he bites my foot off.
Oh. That sounds fine.
And yeah, I found out recently that hag dreams are a real thing, and I had that when I was like a little kid, and I just heard about hag dreams recently. Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard of like something like that off of like Wendigoon, like
I've heard of dreams having different interpretations and stuff. I've never looked into it a whole lot because I don't know how I feel about it. However,
a lot of people apparently dream of like old witches like attacking them and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds terrifying. I don't know if I've had a dream about a hag specifically. I have had, and by the way, I plan on making a whole video about dreams. I want this to be a good, well-scripted video, but we'll get into a little bit of it now.
This could be like your test run on the talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this one isn't like a ghost or anything. But one time when I was a kid, I had a dream. I think this was my first bad dream that I remember. I looked in the mirror and like a couple of my bottom teeth were just growing up and like really fast, and they were turning black, and like, I don't know, man. But apparently teeth dreams are a very common thing, have some sort of meaning. I don't know what it is.
I remember spitting some out into my hands in my dreams once, like it was fucking cream corn,
Yeah.
Because it just comes out.
They weren't. That sounds awful. They weren't like falling out. They were like growing. Like they were like this. Like
that's a wild one.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't like it.
I'm turning.
One of my other first dreams, I was attacked by a vampire lady, and then I turned into a vampire and tried to kill my dad. This actually isn't it. You're aware of my scary story videos, like with like where I've seen ghosts and stuff. I actually excluded this from those, but both times where I woke up and saw a ghost shortly after, I had a dream of my mom being in danger in some way. One of them was there was a ghost throwing, like an invisible ghost throwing axes at her out of the shadows. But I don't know. There might be something going on there.
I read something because like sometimes I'll look them up. And I'm pretty sure I looked at the teeth one before, and it said either something about insecurities, of course, like that's like obviously
that adds up.
But obviously, spitting out my teeth in my freaking dreams here. But I think another thing of it was like stress of money, I think is what it was, or something like that.
Oh, I was like 4 at the time. I probably just hated the way I looked, honestly.
No, dude, you were all about that bag, and you were just stressing it. 4-year-old stressing that money. Yeah, I have another reoccurring one throughout my life. I've had it twice.
Go ahead.
Gotcha. So I remember having it when I was young, and I don't remember the situation. But I remembered having it before because of the second one. And I do remember my area around that time. Because, like, as soon as it happened, I was like, not again.
Yeah,
it's been so long.
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, so this is the second time I had it, we moved into a new house, and it was 3 stories. And one day I was watching either Fuse or some skateboarding on cable. And oh yeah, I had fell asleep in the living room because also my room wasn't finished. So like I probably could have slept somewhere else. That's just the situation. I fell asleep in the living room on the couch watching skateboarding. That's what it was, yeah. And yeah, a giant. So in my dream, basically it's like free falling, like indefinitely, just like ethereal. I don't know how to explain it, just floating.
Yeah.
And basically this giant orbish oil slick comes down like slowly, and there's just pressure on my chest, like it's on me. And it's like, it's ambiguous. It's, it's an oil slickish glimmer to it and all that, and it's putting a big weight on me. And I wake up sweating, heart pounding, crazy as hell. And I was like, whoa, I've had this dream before.
Yeah.
I remember feeling the falling and the like it's just falling indefinitely and the pressure. And that was really weird.
I think that's where like an incubus comes from, because that's like a ghost. Like you've heard of like sleep paralysis demons, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them also talk about like things that like make you feel pressure on your chest. They'll be like, it came in and it started to like lean on my chest, or there was something like a creature sitting on my chest. I think that's where the term incubus comes from. So yeah, that was your incubus,
Most likely. I've heard of the sleep paralysis demon too, where it's like if you fall asleep on your back, you could wake up without being able to actually move. And then like, I had a friend report on me having sleep paralysis, but he never mentioned a demon. And then so once I've looked into that, it's like, yeah, it could be ambiguous dark figures.
Yeah, dude, sometimes I've heard a lot of stories. I'll like go to sleep listening to like people's scary encounters with things, like creepypastas, but then also like Reddit no sleep, all kinds of stuff. So I've heard some pretty wild ones. Those ghost stories that I was talking about, I don't think they're sleep paralysis, because I was able to move around. And from all the sleep paralysis accounts I've heard, it's pretty much you can only like move your eyes or maybe your head a little bit. But like I remember like on where I'm at staying the night at my friend's house, and there's like a shadow figure next to the bed. I remember like getting up and like looking around and stuff, and like I was not paralyzed,
Yeah.
It's crazy. I have had some reoccurring dreams as well. These are way back when I was like a kid. I would be in the dream. I was like in the car, and it would be like my dad and my grandma in the front seat, and like me and my cousins in the back, the same ones I had mentioned earlier. And they would, it would just be like a normal, we're driving around town or whatever. And then all of a sudden, my dad and my grandma were gone. They just disappeared. And the car is like, somebody's got to get up and drive it. And it'll always be up to me to get up into the driver's seat of the car and figure out what to do. And that's not like a scary dream. It was kind of like intense, and it was like a little scary, because I'm like, oh God, I've got to drive, but it wasn't like a nightmare. But I had that several times. That seems like it has some sort of meaning to it. Like, I don't know what it is, but that just seems like weird. Have you ever, how do I put this? Do you have or have ever had a hub world for your dreams?
A hub world, you say?
A hub world.
No.
So, and this is something I can't wait to get into one of my own videos about, but again, I'll get into it a little bit right now. Mostly when I was a kid, occasionally when I'm still an adult, but mostly when I was a kid, most of my dreams would take place in the same like neighborhood. And I felt like there was an area where it was the neighborhood I grew up in. And there was an area where good dreams would happen. Like I remember one dream, I'm like walking down the road, and I realize it's like a dream or something. I'm like, I'll try to practice flying. And like, I keep trying to jump, and like, I can't fly by jumping. So I just kind of like lean forward, and my feet come off the ground. I'm like, okay, here we go. But
That reminds me of in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's a way to teach yourself how to fly. And it's
Yeah.
like basically like double jumping and then not believing you'll fall. Like that's not a possibility.
right.
And so if you have that stone set in your mind, you could fly. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is great for that.
Hello, ground.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe because you spent so much time on that block, of course. That's why that's a part of the area. Probably.
Yeah, that was part of it. But there was another area. It was like if you go, like let's say my house is here, my friend's house is like a couple blocks up here. If you go like a block or two past their house, it would turn. It was a town that my brain made up because like in real life it did not mirror this.
It was much more mushed up at that point.
Yes, but that's where like most of my nightmares would take place. It was never sunny there. It was either nighttime or it was a cloudy gray day. If it was nighttime, the windows in all the houses would have like a reddish glow to them. And yeah, dude, like I said, unless there was like a nightmare that had to do with specifically with my house or something, it was like good dreams over here, bad dreams in the nightmare side of town. And I had, like, I would get to the point where I would recognize, oh, I'm here, I'm dreaming. And I would occasionally have lucid dreams that way.
Yeah.
It is wild, though, dude. Like,
Yeah, lucid dreaming is pretty interesting. A lot of those aspects, they talk about lucid dreaming and then, like, or astral projecting.
yeah.
And then another step being, I think, not only they've used it in the Marvel universe where they suspect dreams to be an actual other universe of possibilities. Yeah.
It's wild, man. I don't think we have any idea what dreams are. I think people speculate. Maybe some people are close, but I don't think we have any idea.
Yeah, I think that's the scientific statement at the moment. We're not really sure.
Do you ever have dreams that predict the future?
No, not that I can think of.
You've ever had like a moment where you're sitting there and you're like, what? What'd you say?
Yeah, I never usually have any that project anything that I can think of.
I've had like a ton of moments where I'm just like sitting there, like for instance, when I first moved to town, I would, I'm from Huntington originally, and then I moved to this area, and there's an Arby's in Waverly, and I went to go have lunch there on one of my breaks at work once, and it was the first time I was there, and I went and sat in the corner of the Arby's, and I'm like, holy crap, I've dreamt this before. And it's usually anything meaningful, but it's just like...
I've experienced a ton of deja vu.
That's what I always call it, is deja vu, but it's like not, oh, I've done this a million times. It's like, oh, I've had a dream of me in this exact spot before, and I've never been in this exact spot before. Same thing happened my first day of 6th grade. I've never been in that building before.
Yeah. It's like reverse deja vu because you've actually clocked it from the dream. You're like, well, that's a weird dream. And then you're like, oh, I remember this.
Yes.
But yeah, in deja vu, you don't remember knowing this moment until it happens.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck
It's
is
very
that,
weird.
scientists? Like, really?
Reverse deja vu. Prediction. Yeah, I don't know.
They don't know either. Like, that's
We're
what I'm like.
getting into
People don't
brain
know what
science.
dreams are. They're just this crazy phenomenon that happens to almost everyone that we just have no clue what it is, almost on a regular basis.
Which, speaking of our last topic for the show, is some of our old beliefs. Which one of mine will kick it off from the dream where I had that oil slick when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
One time I was watching skateboarding again, and we had 3 stories, and I swear I heard all those doors slam at once, and I was the only one home. That's a lot of doors, and I just left. I
Was
grabbed my
this a
skateboard
dream
and I
or
went
was this
skateboarding.
real life?
Oh, this was real life. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, both those things happened in that house. I
Yeah.
also spent most of that time in that house I lived in the attic, which was 2 split rooms, basically, one side of the attic. The other side was split with my my aunt, who was highly schizophrenic, and she would watch movies. She would think she was in them, like Harry Potter and stuff. She loved Harry Potter.
That'd be sick. I mean, okay, that might maybe a bad joke. I'm sorry, but it would be cool to be in Harry Potter.
Oh, dope! Yeah, I was pretty jealous of that. Just kidding. One night I seen her. She was climbing up the stairs on all four hands. She was very like the Ring. Oh, no. And she also had a machete in her room. So one day when she wasn't upstairs or in there or whatever, I went ahead and I hid it back in my room. I don't remember whatever happened to that. Anyhow, but you got
nothing. Yeah. I thought I saw something. I don't want to freak you out. I thought I saw something behind you.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I was like legit. See, like, is this on my phone or is that behind him? And I don't know.
But those are some of the old beliefs of like I used to get like ghosts and stuff. Like just something was weird in that house specifically, I suppose. I also used to be pretty afraid of like which is very funny that I love the Evil Dead. I used to be pretty afraid of like hands. Like, like with minds of their own or whatever. I think it came from the Addams Family. Because I had a nightmare when I was a child. I remember being in my race car bed. I remember, like, visually, I remember this shit.
I also had a race car bed. That's where I was attacked by the vampire lady in one of my dreams. Go ahead.
That's where they get you.
Yeah.
Well, the dream that got me in mine was I could have swore one went over my chest.
Oh.
And I woke up, I got out of bed, and I was crying, and I was talking to my mom, like, it's fucking hand, and, you know, I remember that being a thing. So, like, yeah, some of that stuff came from movies. Darkness Falls. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, Tooth Fairy?
Okay. Yes, that was probably the last thing that ever, like, got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we were, I would have been, like, it was before I started skateboarding, so maybe, like, 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've been about the same age. And me and my friends, like, it went from one point, like, everybody's seen the movie where we're playing it outside. You stay in the light. In the movie Darkness Falls, if you're in the dark, if you see the Tooth Fairy come to claim your tooth, then you're, like, haunted by her for life until she kills you. And so what the kid does after seeing her, like, what will keep you alive when she comes at night is by staying in the light.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the premise. Me and my friends would basically play that, like, running around under the street lights. Like, run into the next one and stop, and everybody's hanging out, you know.
And then your imagination starts to get to you. You're like, oh, fuck, there's actually...
Mom, come get me. Mom, pick me up. The Tooth Fairy's going to get me. And that was probably one of the last ones that got me. I do remember, like, often playing, like, basketball and, like, looking out into the woods when it's late in the afternoon and just, like, wondering, like, Bigfoot's probably out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Has Bigfoot ever scared you?
As it ever scared me?
Claire, are you scared of Bigfoot? Or are you just...
No, I've always had a thrill of watching the vid, like, back in our day when we were younger, it would have been on something on, like, Discovery late night, you know, where they do a documentary about the people who found the footage of Sasquatch. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So I used to, like, really enjoy seeing that footage for the first time when you're a kid growing up and you see the Sasquatch walk.
Yeah, for sure.
I do suspend some belief for other things. Some of the things I've seen on Bigfoot, not so much.
Yeah.
Not that I believe that he doesn't exist. And also not that I believe the proof that we have is real.
Yeah, like, you're not saying you don't believe in him, but every piece of evidence that's ever come forward isn't real. You know what I mean?
It's like maybe, but not yet.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same way about, like, Bigfoot. Like, why not? Like, why wouldn't he exist? And then
I remembered last year, I was on my phone. I was probably reading something. I went in the next room. I was like, babe, they finally announced Bigfoot's real. Because I was like, oh, wait, never mind. It's not what I thought it was.
Like with all the alien bodies that's been coming out lately and stuff. I'm like, oh,
Aliens.
No, that's paper mache. Okay.
Aliens were huge this past year
I know.
for like TikTok videos and stuff.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, well, I would say almost certainly. Extraterrestrial life.
Oh yeah.
I guess the same thing goes for this. Like I'm almost 100% certain that there would be extraterrestrial life, but that the proof we have is so jumbled the fuck up.
Exactly.
Even if the government did release like genuine stuff,
Yeah.
they release stuff that they say they don't know what it is, and that was pretty discouraging in a sense. But like, yeah, I don't know. I sort of believe in a lot of that.
Like, no doubt to me that there's life out there somewhere. As to whether it's visited Earth or something, I don't know. Like,
I love a lot of the stories though. Yeah.
oh yeah, me too. I'll listen to them all day, whether they're nonsense or not.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite channels is the Wi-Files is a big one.
I think you told me about them. I've never looked them up, but I need to.
Right. Yeah, it's a good channel.
I definitely need to look that up.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this channel. Have you ever heard of Mr. Ballin?
Yeah, of course.
That's my costume for today's episode.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
Mr. Ballin.
You're missing the plaid. You're missing the plaid.
Shit. I have a red one too, and that would have been perfect. I'd be
Yeah.
the Dr. T Ballin. Dr. T Ballin.
Dr.
man.
T Ballin. Hell yeah, dude.
Well, do you have any other great Halloween notes before we send everybody off?
Check your candy if that's still a thing. I don't know. But go out, have
Right.
fun. Be scary. Be safe though. Don't. Do you remember? This is off topic. Do you remember the clown craze of 2016?
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna get shot, because that happened to some people during that clown craze.
Yeah. Being scary is fun. And yeah, just keep it all in fun and keep your, get your thrills where they don't, unexpectedly thrill other people.
Yeah, like I said, be safe or be scary and be safe about it.
Alrighty. That's all for today, folks. Stay creative.
Bye.